We welcome you inside Week 9 of the Ken Sparks Show as Carson-Newman picks up a 66-36 victory over the rival Tusculum Pioneers. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier, alongside Carson-Newman head football coach Ken Sparks. Coach Sparks, congratulations on, I guess, your first basketball coaching victory, judging by that score. Eagles show some poise over the Pioneers.
Well, it was looked like there for a while as who had the ball last was going to win, especially the first half, because I think all we did is exchange, touchdowns or field goals, but it was a great win, and I do agree that our kids showed a lot of character because it wasn't easy. And starting with the pregame warm-up, as we came off the field, we got challenged pretty good by them, and all the way through the game, it was a good opportunity for us to be what we say we are, and to handle some character issues and handle some things, not letting your actions be dictated by somebody else's actions. And Tusculum's got a good offensive football team. They did a great job attacking us, and we didn't do a very good job defending them.
You bring up the poise, the comfort and the character of your team. What have they displayed off the field that leads you to know that they can act that way on the field? Well,
of course, the field is a great place to show in an intense learning laboratory of what you've learned, what you really are. And so we got some guys that are growing up and maturing and starting to see the picture a little bit about what we're asking them to do. And so you can't win ball games after the whistle. You can lose ball games after the whistle, and I think some of our guys are starting to understand that a little bit better.
How far has this team come since the start of camp way back on August 8th?
Well, considering all the people who aren't playing because of injuries, or mostly injuries, or maybe other reasons, it's especially defensively. I think we had 5 guys that did not play that would have started if they were well, and so I think what the defensive coach is doing is really quite a miracle, and our kids are responding very well.
Who's standing out? Who's stepping up in your mind?
Well, we had secondary. Anytime somebody throws it 50 times, we had some guys in the secondary, and a couple, 3 new guys that really did a great job. And then on top of that, we're asking some people to rush a passer 100 times during a game, and that's hand-to-hand combat, and that's about as hard as it gets. And we had 3 defensive ends that did every bit of it, and I think we had 4 defensive tackles, and one of them wasn't a whole lot. So basically 3 defensive tackles did a lot of it. So that's a lot of snaps for an up front people to have to play.
Carson-Newman with the victory over Tusculum, 66-36. We break down the first half after this. Back on the Ken Sparks Show as Carson-Newman is victorious over Tusculum, 66-36. I'm Adam Cavalier alongside the head coach of the Eagles, Ken Sparks. Coach, you take a 38-29 lead into the locker room, and we bring it up a lot of scoring in that first half. How were you able to go punch for punch with the Pioneers?
Well, thank goodness. Of course, unfortunately, we had a turnover.
Yeah.
And we had a turnover on our end of the field, deep in our end of the field, and in a game like that, every possession is so important, and you can't give one up. And we did. We gave one up, and that really, really bothered me. And of course, sure enough, it cost us. And then in the second half, we lost a kickoff, and so and then we lost another fumble late in the ball game, and when it didn't matter. But those first 2 really, really mattered, especially the first one.
The field was exceptionally soggy.
Yes.
Did that play into how the game was played at all?
Well, there was slippage on both sides. Remember, both teams play on the same field, and so and I asked I asked Coach DeBust about that, and evidently, they're Bermuda and they're trying to save the green as long as they can, and so they were watering down to frost early to try to get the frost off and not to put that Bermuda in dormant. And he said probably they watered it longer than they should have because they were out there squeezing and blowing and everything else trying to get wet spots. But we had a lot of slippage, and I hope they don't have to host too many more soccer games because we did some damage to the field, no question.
Well, Carson-Newman takes a 38-29 lead into the locker room, and a litany of first half highlights head your way now.
Haywood under center in the veer, runs the option left, fakes the pitch, now jets around the left side of the line. Haywood off to the races at the 30 and 20. Haywood along the far side hash, he's inside the 10, and finally shoved out down at the 5-yard line by Evan Dansby. A 40-yard run for Brandon Haywood. Carson-Newman goes quick. Haywood hands off left side. Andy Hibbett. Hibbett plows his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Carson-Newman. Andy Hibbett scores from 3 yards out. His 5th rushing touchdown of the season, and the Eagles can take the lead with the point after. It's 6-6. Eubanks in motion to the far side of the field. Haywood takes the snap, running around the left side of the line on the option keeper. Haywood across the 40, up to the 45 and 46, where he's grabbed along the numbers by Dominic James. Haywood takes the snap, gives off, dive, right side for Hibbett. Hibbett spurts in, touchdown, Carson-Newman. Score number 2 of the day for Andy Hibbett as he plowed over Dominic James on his way to the goal line. And the Eagles take a 13-9 lead with 2 minutes and 1 second left of the first quarter. Haywood takes the snap, hands off on a trap right for Andy Hibbett. Hibbett explodes over the right side of the line. Hibbett in a foot race along the far sideline. He's at the 50 and 40. Hibbett strolls inside the 30 and gets dropped by Darius Ben inside the 25 of Tusculum, down at the 22-yard line.
And Ben there just does the Superman grab, just hopes to catch part of Hibbett, and does. If he doesn't get lucky there, Adam, Hibbett's going to the house.
Carson-Newman moves quick. Going up the gut for Brandon Baker. Baker scooting his way along the far hash mark. Baker will waltz into the end zone. Touchdown, Carson-Newman. The dive works like a charm for CN, and the Eagles are back on top, 20-16, with 14:34 left in the second quarter. Cordell in the gun with Spradlin to his right. Cordell, deep drop, now running right. Cordell pressured in the backfield by Javaris Neal, and Neal smacks him down for a sack. All the way back at the 37-yard line. An 8-yard loss, and the Eagles hold tight. Handoff up the gut to Brandon Baker. He's in! Touchdown, Carson-Newman. Brandon Baker moves the pile to get in from 2 yards out. Haywood under center in the veer, gives off up the middle to Brandon Baker. Baker shakes free of a tackle at the 45. Baker strolling his way along the far hash down to the 40, but he's tripped up by Alexander down at the 39 before he can cut it free to the green. Haywood takes the snap, throws over the middle of the field to a wide open Jason Brown. Touchdown, Carson-Newman. The first passing play of the day for CN goes for 6, and the Eagles take a 34-22 lead over Tusculum. Jason Brown was in a gaping hole in the middle of the Tusculum secondary. There wasn't a defender within 15 yards of him. And Brown scores his 6th touchdown of the season on his 12th reception. The Eagles with 3 down linemen. They'll rush 3. A screen, near side, complete to Funny, and he's dropped for a loss by Oliver Davis back at the 10. OD brings him down for a loss of 2. Takes the snap out of the split back veer on 2nd and 13, throwing to the far sideline, complete to Anthony Eubanks across the 45. Haywood takes the snap, rolls right, now throws right, complete to Jason Brown inside Tusculum territory at the 39, and Brown hustles his way out of bounds. A potential school record from Old Thunderfoot, Kurt Duncan, and the junior from Morristown to kick. The snap's down. Duncan gets off a line drive, end-over-end kick, and it is good!
Goodness.
A school record for Kurt Duncan from 55 yards out. He pushes it through, and the Eagles take a 38-29 lead into the locker room. Holy free holy! Duncan got all of it and then some. 55 yards for Kurt Duncan, making a bid for a 4 in a row at SAC Special Teams Player of the Week.
Those are the first half highlights as Carson-Newman takes a 38-29 lead into the locker room against Tusculum, and Coach Sparks, the first half highlights end with a bang, literally, off the foot of Kurt Duncan. 54 yards, school record field goal. What made you let him go out there and kick it?
Well, Kurt's been hot, and Kurt's going to continue to get better and better. We hadn't seen the last of the best of Kurt Duncan, and I think it was only about a foot short of 55 yards.
Yeah.
And I thought it really should have been a 55 yard.
That's what I called it on air. The official stats have it as 54. I thought it was a 55 yarder.
Okay, is that not correctable? 55 sounds better than 54, but 54 is pretty good.
Yeah. What's he been doing to keep improving?
Well, Kurt's just, he's a quality kid. He's everything that you hope a competitor would be. He's very talented. He's a whole package, and he's pretty excited when they called 2 timeouts too. That psyched him up, made him go stronger. That was the emphasis we needed, is those 2 timeouts.
What about him too? He got a stinger trying to tackle somebody on a kickoff.
He didn't try to tackle him. He tackled him. Yeah. And Kurt's made 4 or 5 tackles this year, but he did get a stinger, and I hope that doesn't disappoint him and keep him from. We got to get him in some of them upper body exercises.
Carson-Newman with the lead at the break over Tusculum, 38-29. The Eagles victorious, 66-36 over their rivals. We take a look at the second half when we return on the Ken Sparks Show. Carson-Newman with the W over the Tusculum Pioneers, 66-36. We welcome you back into the Ken Sparks Show. I'm Adam Cavalier, the voice of the Eagles, alongside Carson-Newman head football coach Ken Sparks. Coach Sparks, first game since 1981 where you have at least 2 running backs rush for more than 150 yards. Andy Hibbett and Brandon Baker do the job against the Pioneers as you rack up more than 560 yards on the ground against Tusculum. What was the key to the offensive success against the Pioneers?
Well, I think offensive line, it starts up front, and then I think 2 kids that was running their hearts out and running hard, and neither one of them are breakaway threats, but they're tremendous hard runners and block for each other. All those things are really good. We had good perimeter blocking by the wideouts. It's just a total team effort. And then, of course, Brandon Haywood got over 152, and that made 3 backs that ran for over 150 yards. And so, consequently, we didn't throw the ball much because we went for it, I think, 4 or 5 times on 4th down and made all of them, except at the end, maybe when we were trying to kill clock at the end. But tremendous effort by our offensive football team, no question.
You bring up the passing game, but even when you do throw the football, it's effective. Jason Brown scores his 5th touchdown on the receiving end of a Haywood pass, and Steven Isom gets into the end zone for the first time. What did your receivers do to, when you did decide to take to the air, be effective?
Well, when you throw it 6 times, you complete 5 and 2 of them for touchdowns. That's not bad percentages, even though, we probably need to be throwing it some so we can recruit some receivers and quarterbacks that are interested in this wide open basketball on grass. But we actually we thought it would be kind of putting salt in the wound if we threw it too much, because we had a lead, especially in the second half. And so we just wanted to be effective with the running game, and we were.
You go back to Kurt Duncan's kick to give you 3 heading into the locker room.
Major.
And then you get the kick to start the second half for the first time all season. How much of a difference did those 2 little plays make?
Well, no question. I thought we ended the half, that was a huge upper for us and a downer for them when Kurt kicks a 55-yard field goal. I'm going to still say 55. The 55-yard field goal, with no time on the clock. And then for us to come out and have the first possession with a small lead and then make it a larger lead by going straight down and scoring, and scored fast, I think, in 3 plays. And so that was, I think, psychologically was major for us and probably a minor for them.
First half only part of the fireworks for Carson-Newman. We take a look at the second half highlights as the Eagles pick up a 66-36 victory over the Tusculum Pioneers.
Haywood under center in the split back veer. Hibbett on the left and Baker on the right. Now Hibbett in motion to the wide side of the field. Haywood takes the snap, throws on a slant, complete over the middle of the field to Steven Isom. Isom outrunning the defender to the goal line. Touchdown, Carson-Newman. 26 yards, and Steven Isom scores his first touchdown of the season. The Eagles take a 44-29 lead with 11:58 left in the third quarter. Cordell takes the shotgun snap on 3rd and 15 from his own 20. Cordell inching up in the pocket, unleashing over the middle of the field, and it's intercepted by Carson-Newman in Pioneer territory down at the 37-yard line. Sean Rawson picks off his third pass of the season. Haywood fakes the dive, now runs right. Haywood into space on the far sideline. Haywood across the 5. He's in. Touchdown, Carson-Newman. Brandon Haywood does it all by his lonesome along the right sideline. And the Eagles go ahead 51-29 as Haywood skates in from 16 yards out. Haywood will give right side for Baker. Baker blasts in. Touchdown, Carson-Newman. Brandon Baker with the hat trick. And the Eagles have put up 58 points on Tusculum, leading the Pioneers 58-36. Haywood takes the snap, fakes the dive, now pitches left for Baker. Baker steamrolling his way along the far sideline. Baker squirts in! Touchdown! Carson-Newman! Make it 4 scores for Brandon Baker! And this one comes from 31 yards away! The Eagles have put a 6th spot on Tusculum and lead it 65-36 with 10:43 left in the fourth quarter.
Carson-Newman picks up the victory 66-36 over the Tusculum Pioneers. Coming up next on the Ken Sparks Show, we put the Eagles spotlight on Carson-Newman's Friday walkthrough. That's after this. Welcome back on the Ken Sparks Show, and each week we put the Eagles spotlight typically on a Carson-Newman player. But this week Roger Hoover shines it on the Eagles Friday walkthrough. And this one a little unusual, as before the coaches come out to actually instruct the Eagles, you'll find center Kevin Day hooking up with Robbie Ignani for a 40-yard completion. Here's Roger with his report.
Friday walkthrough always gets us prepped for the game. We know this is a especially big game. This is our crosstown rival. They're only 40 minutes down the road, and we know that as much as we can prepare all week, Friday's the day to polish it up and get it all together.
I want to go. I don't know about y'all, but I want to go, man. I want to have fun. I don't want to go home for Thanksgiving. Right. I want to play in the playoffs. Yeah.
Today we just got a great speech from our captain, Brandon Baker, to get us motivated, because we know, as far as in the future, how important this game is for us.
Friday walkthroughs go over the plays, and we got to get everything down packed, make sure everything is right and crisp for tomorrow's game. Yeah, it's a cool environment. We just walking through things, and we get to have fun while going through plays and not have to be so serious, but just getting mentally ready for the game. It means a lot to me because at the end of the practice, you have to realize that when you go home, you have to do things that will help you on the field as well, and we need motivation to keep us going. Well, I never won the playoffs as a starting running back, so this is a great opportunity for me and my boys because none of us have really won the playoffs because all the people who won in 2009 graduated, so this will be a good opportunity for all of us to go.
Get your good night's rest. Get in there tomorrow, be focused, be ready to go. Just play hard. If I got it, I break them down like that. You got them right there. Here we go.
Offense on three. That's good. 1, 2, 3.
Offense!
Well, thank you very much, Roger, for that report. And Coach, you look at a very loose Friday walkthrough, and it translates into success on the field, especially in the second half defensively against the Pioneers.
That's not a Friday walkthrough with that's our playbook that we hadn't got around to using yet.
I look forward to the Kevin Day toss to Robbie Ignati.
Oh yeah, the center around pass.
Yeah.
So, but we got an interesting group now, and between some of those offensive linemen, and then you throw Zach in there, Zach Fleming in there, and you got a bunch of guys that. Weird. That's the best word. That's the best word to say it. Just weird. So, but it's a great group of kids.
You got a great group of kids and great effort in the second half against the Pioneers, especially defensively. You just hold them to the lone touchdown and under 100 yards through the air.
Yeah, and less than 100-yard total offense.
Yeah.
And for the halftime adjustments were amazing. You know, Coach Clowney and the defensive staff took them out of the locker room and took them out of the stadium and took them up to another place to meet and talk, and made some great second half adjustments. And key to the ball game is we held them to 1 touchdown in the second half, and our offense, we never did punt. We kept going, and so it was great.
Turn around, you've got Mars Hill on Senior Day.
Got Mars Hill on Senior Day, and a lot of things at stake.
This has been the Ken Sparks Show. Coach Sparks, always a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Carson-Newman head football coach Ken Sparks. I'm Adam Cavalier. This has been the Ken Sparks Show. Thanks for watching.